We're here at the AQS Quilt Week in Paducah, and we're here at our 35th anniversary show. And I have Andrea Brokenshire, and she is the winner of the Best Wall Quilt, sponsored by Hobbs Bonded Fiber. And what a beauty it is.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right, so first of all, tell me what it feels like to win the Best Wall Quilt.
It's overwhelming, very surreal, exciting, terrifying, all about wonderful.
And at the awards presentation the other night, you were the only one that really got into it.
What is up with that? Everybody's kind of walking, they're so sedate, and I was like, hey, this is a
big deal,
baby.
Yes, it is. Well, let's talk about how you make your quilts, first of all. So what's the first process that you start when you design a quilt like this?
Well, everything comes from a photograph. So you have to pick a piece that you really love to look at, because if you're looking at it a lot, so you pick a subject matter that's near and dear to your heart. These fuchsias are actually a picture that were growing in my mom's yard. So every time I was working on it, I'm thinking about my mama. And these fuchsia were as big as my palm of my hand, and I had never seen a fuchsia that big before. And the buds were about 2.5 inches long and about 1.5 inches wide. So they were huge, and I'd never seen that. So I knew I was going to make a quilt from that. So over the course of the time I was there, I took pictures in all angles, different times of the day, everywhere. And this is what came out of it. So.
Okay, and actually this is a whole cloth quilt, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It started out as a piece, white silk, so it was completely painted first, and then it was quilted. So what I like to think is that the painting became the foundation, but the quilting is what makes it come alive. It's what gives it its personality, the movement, its depth, its character.
And you use a lot of different colors of thread,
Oh my
too.
goodness,
How many
yes.
colors?
There's at least 200 different thread colors in this quilt, and every single one of them were pulled to the back and buried. So the stops and the starts were very harmonious with each other. So the back looks as awesome as the front. Sorry, you can't see the back.
Do you wait to do that at the end, or you do it as you go?
As I go. I usually have a needle in my lapel, so when I'm sewing, when I finish a line, I just get them in there and done.
Wow.
I spend more time burying threads than I do stitching.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, all right. And then let's talk about how you quilted it, because in some areas, like these leaves, the quilting is larger, and then you've got micro stippling over here.
Right. Well, what I wanted to do was to create the effect of depth. And so in the foreground, anything in the foreground that was right in front was all quilted in very much detail. So you'll see the veining, and you'll see all the nuances of shape and movement within the foreground piece. But in the background, everything was recessed and muted, and you didn't see the details. So I wanted to create that illusion, and the way I did that was with this micro stippling kind of quasi-pebbled format. So everything that you see in the background is that. So there's no straight lines. Even the small stems that you see are all done in that stippled format, so that the whole back just sinks. It's there, you can see it, but it's not competing with the foreground.
Do you know, one question I didn't ask about your painting, and that is, what kind of paint do you use when you're painting on your silk?
I use Pro Chemical and Dyes Profab textile paint, which is their transparent version. So I use multiple layers. So this quilt in particular was about 6 layers of very light layers where I build the color up. So the first pass is very light, and then I add tones every single time, which gives the luminosity. So you'll see in the pieces, you can see the different tones that come up. It doesn't look this beautiful the first time at your when I'm teaching a class, they said, oh, this isn't the way I want it to look. I said, no, trust light. You can always add, you can never take it away.
That's right.
So you want to start light and just slowly build the color, and that's what gives it that depth. That's what, and I always like to put the light. So when you see I always like the subjects where the light is shining through, so you see shadow and you see how the light plays against the different aspects of the piece. So.
Well, it certainly is a beautiful quilt, and
Thank you.
well deserving of being the best wall quilt
Well,
this year.
thank you very much. And I always want to say, it's like, for everyone out there, when you're making your quilt, I always sign my pieces. So if you see down here, I always stitch my name with the year that it was quilted. So A, it gives me a hint, like I can remember when I made it, but also that it is always there. So
It's like any artist
yes,
should
yeah,
be
you
signing
sign
their
your
work,
You
right?
sign your work.
And you did that with your sewing machine.
Did no sewing machine. Yeah, everything's free motion. I move the fabric under the needle. So it's like, yeah.
Okay, I have one more question.
Sure.
Will they get to see this at the Quilt Museum?
They will.
Okay.
They will.
So
This-
it will become part of the
It will
collection.
be, right, it will become part of the collection. So come by and see it, come and say hi to it. Say hi to my aunties. This is my Aunt Esther and that's my Aunt Helen, and they're dancing in heaven. So that's why they're the Twirly Girls.
The Twirly Girls.
Yes.
Well, congratulations
Thank you again. Thank you.
And we hope that you'll enter your quilts in the AQS Quilt Contest. And even more than that, we hope you'll come see us at AQS Quilt Week. They can have a lot of fun, can't they?
They can. It's
All
a
right.
great time.
See you soon.
Bye.